What's up everyone, Cyber Gamer here, and welcome back to another episode of our Ragnamod VI Let's Play. Today we're going to be getting a few things taken care of that we've been kinda needing, you know? Got a little hint of some power back there and some compact machine crafting, huh? Making a little progress too. Anyway, let's jump right into it. Let's go! Infinite power gen, and this maxes out so far from what I've seen on previous packs and other packs. It's like 70 something thousand RF per tick once it's full of ethylene. The way the gas burning generator works is as the gas fills up in the generator, its production rate increases, so it produces less. So right now I think it was like 50k, so as it goes up it'll be able to produce quite a bit more, and that pretty much settles us for quite a while on the power. We can go ahead and start upgrading machines and getting speed upgrades and stuff. Now these garden clashes are insanely fast. I had no idea it was going to be this fast. I wouldn't have been worried about making it free. So definitely good on that, but I am gonna for sure need some of these for farming. As you can see, the craft wasn't too bad. Did have a little chain of stuff. The only thing that kind of like held me up on that, so all this is fully available to us even without thermal. They do have the Enderium available to be alloyed in the smelter, so resonant ender, diamond, molten lead, and get you Enderium, and then you can smelt it out into ingots. The one thing that really slowed me down was this coin of fortune. Now the rest of this we've already been making. There's the Enderium again, but this coin of fortune needs this bat wing, which wouldn't be too bad, except you gotta go hunt bats and do all that good stuff. And there's also the other drop, these, no, not the wild end wings, yeah, these bat wings from Forbidden and Arcanus. So I was getting a mix between the two and more of the others, more of these types of wings rather than the ones I was trying to get. But I was able to make 8 Coin of Fortunes. One of them I went ahead and put on, draws in items and XP, so basically a little free magnet. That other one was just a bit too much as far as the range and stuff like that. I didn't need it on everything, and every time I got around something anywhere near it, it just started sucking everything up. Coin of Fortune, I think it has like, I don't know, 8 block range maybe, I don't know. It's not near as far as everything, so it works out a little bit better. But we've actually got our entanglement porters with our battery. If you didn't notice from the little bitty time lapse, we also have our ore miner from Mechanism. So now I'm actually getting this to digitally mine ores for us. I have it being powered through the entanglement porter, and Ender Chest is receiving all the items. And now that we've got that gas burning generator, really don't have to worry about throwing that thing out. We can put it wherever we want. I have it set to 75 blocks down and like a 32 block radius, I think. So it's getting like 16,000 or 12,000, I think is what it queued up to go ahead and mine. And plus side is it's also getting the dense ores. So I made some slots in here for the dense ores to make sure we can get all those as well. We still have our laser drills from Industrial Foregoing going, so those are all still producing for us as well. But I kept having to run low on osmium and then wait a little bit. So yeah, resource gathering is definitely definitely becoming needed with all those crafting. As you saw, it takes quite a bit of steps just to get to this thing, which is no big deal. Once we get it automated and get to refined and all that, it'll be much easier. I was also getting these gravel ores from the mechanism miner. I don't really want them, but they're labeled in the forge ores, and that's kind of just what I put in as far as the filter. If you've never used the mechanism miner before, you can actually preset what kind of filter you want for mining. I have mine just set at general forge ores. I'll go ahead and stop here. So the tag that I have in here is just forge ors, and that will just pretty much anything that's labeled ore within the JEI or any of the tags, it'll get them that way. But when you're adding a filter, you can choose just an item stack. You can base it off the tag, the material, or if you're looking for specific ores from a mod, you could just use the mod ID, type in the name of the mod, and it'll only mine those ores. But yeah, so it's very customizable, and when you start it up, it'll tell you how many it's mined based off your filters. So that's why it ends up you end up having to reset it, because if you change the configs, that number might change too. But yeah, so now we're off to a good start. We got some power gen going. I really wanted to go ahead and get started with, where is it? Yeah, that's from upgrading our machine. Thermal. So in order to get started with thermal, we need to make these miniaturization field projectors. Not very expensive at all. So one craft will get the 4 that we need. We'll place those around, and that will actually enable us to craft our first machine frame. Taking 8 redstone engineering blocks, some sheet metal, steel, and iron. We'll drop that in there and it'll craft it. Looks like it's a 4x4. Okay, cool. So once we craft this machine frame, we'll actually be able to use it to make the induction smelter. And from that point, we'll just use the induction smelter to make our other machine frames at a way cheaper rate, 111 from 8, 16, 16. And also, once we get that started, then we can get with then we can get thermal going and get all these useful machines going here. We've got some batteries, some extractors. Probably not going to need the batteries, because more than likely we'll be using mechanisms battery, just because it's got insane storage. Alrighty, so I have crafted our 4 field projectors, which, if you remember, those are just one craft. And I've gone ahead and set them up. Now, if you right click them while you're setting them up, it'll kind of give you a little image of where the other ones are supposed to be, to make it fit at the level that the first one you're doing is at. But I went ahead and gathered up all the materials that we need to make our first machine frame. And that will be through miniaturization crafting. We've got to build it just like it shows here. So we've got the 16 steel on the bottom, 16 iron on top, and then the 8 in the middle. That's pretty simple. It's just a 2x2 in the middle. So I'm going to put it together. Also, I went ahead and, if I can remember how to get there eventually one day, maybe down here. I went ahead and carved out a room for our thermal expansion. What is it called now? Thermal series. So this is where we'll have our thermal series mod machines, the induction smelter, the pulverizer, compact machine, all that good stuff. The first machine we're going to make is the induction smelter, because, you know, that's going to allow us to make the machine frames much cheaper. As you can see, it's a 111 in the induction smelter, and here it takes quite a bit more. So we're going to make our first one here, and then we'll use that first one to make the induction smelter, and we'll be good from there. So I'm going to put it all together just like it says right over here. So normally that disturbs the crafting process. Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work. Well, as expected. No. Yeah, so maybe I have to actually do the strict 4x4 size box. It won't let me do it in the 5x5, which is unfortunate. But let me move these around and I'll be back. Alrighty, so I redid it this way. I didn't deconstruct that, but I just kind of moved these out. It seems like it's possibly a little more center. I'm not really sure if that matters. So, it didn't work. Maybe this has to be... Nope. Or I could check out the quest and it might just tell me how. Personal stricken the field projectors are used to miniaturize compact machines and other crafts, so you don't have to make the biggest size. Just a 5x5 is sufficient for all crafts. What is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's all it says. What is it saying? Thermal. The first 3 frames made in the miniaturize field. After that, you can automate the induction smelter. Okay. Guess I'll just build it again. And see how that works. No, still didn't work. I have it possibly flipped upside down? No, iron on top. Yep, yep. Okay, so we're building it right. There's just something wrong with the miniaturization field. Okay, well, let's make the 5x5 again and redo it real quick. Okay, so I moved it, I rebuilt it. Let's try it again. It looks weird because you can't center 4 and a 5. So, that's supposed to initiate it. I can't tell if you can click on it, if it'll tell you anything. Actually, you know what? Let's try making something else. 26 compact machine walls. We need industrial iron block, 8 redstone, and ender pearl. Okay, let's try making some of that. So it's one of these, and 8 redstone. And then what initiates it? Ender pearl. Do I have those in here? No. See, that's what it's supposed to do. So our miniaturization set up properly. See? And it gives us the blocks. Okay, so is this a different type of sheet metal? Everything looks the same. I'm not sure why it's not working. It just doesn't want to work. I'm not 100% sure why. I can't find anything wrong with the way I'm putting it together. And then at the same time, I'm literally only gonna need to make this recipe once, so. I was thinking maybe because I'm in there. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna show it on camera. Just to show. How do okay, let's go up here. Because obviously I'm putting it on there right. We know the miniaturization's working right. So I'm going to destroy the items. One machine frame. Okay, I'm showing it just because I just want to be truthful. So this is obviously working since we were able to make the compact machine walls. I'm not sure if the recipe's glitched or if it's not quite reading it right. Not 100% sure, but the quest book does say you can use any size for all the crafts right here. You just have to make a 5x5 is sufficient for all the crafts, and so that's what we have here. But for some reason it's not reading the thermal fancy craft, which is fine. But gave up all the items, made the machine frame. Okay, and so now we can actually work on making our first thermal machine, the Induction Smelter, if I don't delete it. Sweet, it's the first one on there. So we need sand, some Invar gears, which we can make. Okay, so now we can make the blast furnace, and I think all we need is the redstone flux coil. Boom, and there we go, Induction Smelter. So now we can put this in our new thermal room. I gotta remember it's next to industrial. Okay. And we'll stick it here for now. Is that guy still mad at me? Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Machine frame and the induction smelter. So now we have the pulverizer. Not really gonna get the redstone furnace. I mean, we'll make it just to complete the quest. But the multi-server press is what's gonna come in real handy because that'll make our gears faster. It'll make us plates faster. There's a couple other things we can do rods in there too. But okay, so we need to get power to this thing, and then we can make the machine frames much cheaper now. It just takes one redstone engineering block, which is pretty cheap, the iron sheet metal, and the steel sheet metal. So I'm going to get together quite a few of that, and then we'll be able to make all of our machines. Now that we have thermal, that was the only thing holding us back from making this Ethereum coin. We can already make the electrum and iron plates. We just couldn't make the coin. Now we can, and that's another purpose of the multi-server press, is you can actually use the multi-server press to produce coins, and there is a generator that those coins can get used with numismatic dynamo. I can read it if I say it slow. But anyway, one Ethereum coin will get you 160,000 RF. Now that's its total energy it will produce. That's not how fast it will produce. How fast it produces depends on the machine and the upgrades that you have in the machine. But okay, anywho, we'll get more into that in a little bit. But let me go ahead and get some thermal machines together before we end today's episode. Alrighty. Okay, so I have been able to go ahead and put together our thermal machines. I put 3 different induction smelters just so we can have different automation going later on and kind of separate them out. I'll be able to elaborate more on that once we start trying to automate it. I also made 3 multi-servo presses. So this one I have designated to make our plates. This one I have designated to make our gears. And this one's going to make our coins. We do need that Enderium coin here for the catalyst to go to the undergarden. So that's all ready for us. We can actually go ahead and pop in an Enderium ingot. Now we also have a pulverizer, sawmill, magma crucible, and 2 blast chillers. I'll explain why I have 2 of those in a moment, because we'll be setting those up real quick before we end today's episode. And now we have our coins. Awesome. So now we can actually make our undergarden catalyst. Boom. Quest complete. And guess where we're going at the start of the next episode? Yes. We shall go check out the undergarden. But the thing I wanted to do real quick with the 2 blast chillers. Now with the blast chillers, you can have a couple of things being produced. So these do something similar to Tinkers, where you can ingot items. So you can get the molten version of the metal, have this ingot cast in here, and make ingots that way. You have a ball cast, which can be used to make snowballs if you have water in it. Energized glowstone will make drillstone squares. So there's a few different things. But what I'm wanting to do, obsidian, all it takes is lava. So I want to produce obsidian with our infinite lava that we have. And I also want to go ahead and produce ice with our infinite water that we have. That'll give us access to both. We won't have to go mining. I did have to go get the blue ice that I have right now and collect it up for our, just to craft the blast chiller. Because it takes 2 packed ice. I said blue ice, but yeah, anywho. But yeah, so I'm going to hook up one for water and another one with lava. That way both of these will be able to produce, we'll have ice being produced here, and then we'll have obsidian being produced here. Okay, and now we have obsidian and ice being produced. So I'm going to put a couple drawers on there. Just a couple of upgrades. Okay, so we'll do that and that. We will export out the top. Now I don't have to do the auto input, but just to make things easier. And boop. Once it produces at the end of its production, it'll throw those up in the storage drawer. And then, yep, there you go. Awesome. And now we just need our key, so we know how much we got. We really don't need to lock these because the machines only output 1, and the single, yeah, you know the drill. But yeah, there we go. So now we have unlimited ice, unlimited obsidian, and it's going to produce from the infinite lava and water that we already are producing at the moment. But that is actually where I'm going to go ahead and end today's episode. We have our undergarden catalyst, which is going to be a big help. We're going to take off to the undergarden. We also completed this quest. We get a random reward. What kind of food are we going to get this time? We got a cookout meal. Okay. Sounds yummy. We'll just throw it up in there. Okay, so that also means, if I remember correctly, we should be able to activate the Botania quest line. There we go. So now we have our Lexica Botania, the mystical world of botanical magic and technology stuff. Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll go explore the Undergarden next episode and get started with some Botania. Made really good progress here, getting all our thermal stuff going. We've got obsidian and ice being produced. Now these are pretty easy to automate due to the fact that you can do split, like input and output. So if we wanted to set up some sort of automation, we can kind of put a chest up there and let it kind of, like for making plates and the different induction smelter recipes, we can kind of separate them out. But if you liked the episode, hit that thumbs up button, and we will see you next time. Oh, by the way, if anybody has any idea why the compact crafting just wouldn't work for me, please let me know down there in the comment section, because, you know, I don't know. I don't dismiss the fact I was doing something wrong. Anyways, y'all have a good one. See you later. Bye.